Hi, I'm Kate with The Productive Teacher, and today we're going to practice spelling the long O sound with the vowel team OA. OA is used to make the long O sound at the beginning or middle of a syllable. Here's how this activity works. I will show you a picture and tell you a word. You will count the sounds in the word, and then we will spell each sound until we have spelled the word. You will want a whiteboard or a scratch paper as we go through this exercise. Let's get started. This picture has a boat. The word is boat. How many sounds do you hear in the word boat? There are 3 sounds in the word boat. What's the first sound you hear? B, b. What letter makes the B sound? The letter B. What's the next sound you hear? B, O. O today is spelled O-A. And what's the last sound you hear in boat? Boat. T. What letter makes the T sound? The letter T. This is how you spell boat. Our next picture, this is a coast. Coast. The coast is where the ocean meets the land. The coast is where water meets the land. The word is coast. How many sounds do you hear in the word coast? There are 4 sounds in the word coast. What's the first sound you hear? K, k. The K sound is the first sound. To know which letter it is, I have to look at the next sound. K, O. When the K sound comes before the O sound, it is spelled with the letter C most of the time. So I know I have the C making the K. My next sound is O. Remember, we spell that with the vowel team OA. Oh, that's messy. What's the next sound we hear? K, O, S. What letter makes the S sound? The letter S. And what's the last sound in the word coast? T, t. What letter makes the T sound? The letter T. This is how you spell coast. Our next picture is a coat. Coat. How many sounds do you hear in the word coat? There are 3 sounds in the word coat. What's the first sound you hear? K. And just like before, our next sound is O, so it's spelled with the letter C. K. O is O-A. And what's the last sound you hear in the word coat? T, t. What letter makes the T sound? The letter T. This is how you spell coat. Our next word is goat. Goat. How many sounds do you hear in the word goat? There are 3 sounds in the word goat. What's the first sound? G, g. What letter makes the G sound? The letter G. What's the next sound in goat? G, O. O is O-A. And what's the last sound in goat? T. What letter makes the T sound? The letter T. This is how we spell goat. Our next word is railroad. Railroad. How many sounds do you hear in the word railroad? There are 6 sounds in the word railroad. What's the first sound you hear? What letter makes the sound? The letter R. What's the next sound in railroad? A. A is made by the vowel team AI. What's the next sound we hear? Rail. Ol. Ol is spelled with the letter L. What's the next sound we hear? Rail. Again. You need another R. What's the next sound? Rail. O. O is O-A. And what's the last sound in railroad? D. D makes the D sound. This is how we spell railroad. Our next word is soap. Soap. How many sounds do you hear in the word soap? There are 3 sounds in the word soap. What's the first sound? S. What letter makes the sound? The letter S. What's the next sound in soap? O. O is O-A. And what's the last sound in soap? What letter makes the P sound? The letter P. Nice job. Our next picture is a toad. Toad. How many sounds do you hear in the word toad? There are 3 sounds in the word toad. What's the first sound you hear? T, t. What letter makes the t sound? The letter T. What's the next sound? T, O. O is O-A. And what's the last sound in toad? D, the letter D. This is how you spell toad. Our next picture is toast. Toast. How many sounds do you hear in the word toast? There are 4 sounds in the word toast. What's the first sound you hear? T, t. What letter makes the t sound? The letter T. What's the next sound in toast? T, O. O is O-A. What's the next sound? Toast. Letter S. And what's the last sound in toast? T. T makes the t sound. This is how you spell the word toast. Our next word is a type of tree. It's an oak tree. Our word is oak. How many sounds do you hear in the word oak? There are 2 sounds in the word oak. What's the first sound? O. Remember, today we are spelling the O sound, O-A. And what's the second sound in oak? K, k. When the k sound comes after a vowel team or a long vowel, we spell it with the letter K. This is how you spell the word oak. Our last word today is float. Float. This little girl is having so much fun floating in the pool. How many sounds do you hear in the word float? There are 4 sounds in the word float. What's the first sound you hear? What letter makes the f sound? The letter F. What's the next sound you hear? L. What letter makes the L sound? The letter L. What's the next sound you hear? Full. O. O is O-A. And what's the last sound you hear in the word float? T. What letter makes the t sound? The letter T. This is how you spell float. Thank you so much for spelling with me today. I'll see you next time.